Hi guys, this is a video on factoring trinomials. The strategy I'm going to show you works for any trinomial, but works particularly well when we have a leading coefficient other than 1. So in this case, we have a 6. And what we're going to do is create 4 terms and then take those 4 terms and factor by grouping. So to get started, we have to know the standard form for a quadratic, ax squared plus bx plus c. So to find the 2 terms that we're going to use in place of our middle term, we need to figure out what numbers multiply to a times c and add to b. So in this case, a is 6. C is negative 24, so we just need to calculate negative 24 times 6. We get 24 and 14. So we have negative 144. So I want to multiply to negative 144, add to b, which is the coefficient of the middle term, which is negative 10. And so in order to do this, since negative 144 is kind of a large number and we want to come up with a bunch of factors, so a factor tree will be helpful. I'm going to go over here and do this on the side. So 144, I know 12 times 12 is 144, 3 times 4 is 12, 2 times 2 is 4. So I have my prime factorization here. I'm just going to circle all of my prime numbers. So 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 is going to give us 144. So I can use this list of prime factors to come up with other factors of 144 by grouping them in different ways. So if I first, let's maybe just take the 2, and then I'm going to use all of the rest of the numbers. So 3 times 3 is 9, times 2 is 18, times 2 is 36, times 2 is 72. So 2 and 72 are factors of 144. This next time I'll do 2 times 2, which is 4. So I use 2 of the 2's. What's left is 3 times 3 is 9, times 2 is 18, times 2 is 36. So 4 and 36 are factors. And you can keep going this way until you find the factors that work for adding to negative 10. So we're going to have to keep going. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. And then, so that was 3 of the 2. So remaining, I have 3 times 3 is 9, times 2 is 18. And then this one will work for us. If I make the 18 negative and the 8 positive, those are the factors that I'm going to use. So these are the 2 numbers that we're going to use to create 2 new middle terms instead of that negative 10x. So I'm going to bring down my 6x squared. And then I'm going to take that first number, I'll take that positive 8, and it's going to be a positive 8x. And then the other number was the negative 18, will be a minus 18x, and then bring down that negative 24. So again, the whole idea is that if I simplify this again, 8x minus 18x is going to give me the negative 10x that I started with. So this is an equivalent expression. And now at this point, all I have to do is factor by grouping. So I'm going to go ahead and factor out a 2x. Looks like that's my GCF for my first 2 terms. So I'll have 3x plus 4. And then I'm going to factor out a negative 6. So I'm left with 3x plus 4 again. Again, I'm left with 2 matching binomials here, so I can factor out that as a GCF, 3x plus 4, and then I'm left with 2x minus 6. And at this point, I can actually, I see that the 2x minus 6 can be factored a little bit further by factoring out a 2. So I'm going to pull out that 2 to the front. I'll have 3x plus 4, and then when I factor out the 2, I'll have x minus 3. And that would be my final answer for this one. I'll show you one more. We'll do this example here, 12x squared plus 7xy plus y squared. So this one's a little bit different with 2 variables, but we can do it in essentially the same way. we're going to multiply the first coefficient times the last coefficient. So 12 times 1 is just 12. So we want to multiply to 12, and we want to add to the middle coefficient, so positive 7. And then my factors that will work are 3, positive 3, and 4. So again, I'm just going to rewrite my middle term, 12x squared plus 3. And my variables in the new middle terms that I create have to match the variables in the old middle term. So xy plus 4xy plus y squared. And again, factor by grouping. I can factor out a 3x. I'll be left with 4x plus y. And then I can factor out a y here, 4x plus y again. So I'll have 4x plus y times 3x plus y. And I'm done with that one.